All right, looks like we're live, and probably take a minute for people to come in here. But I'm here with Artistic Layman.
Long time no see, folks.
So, well, there's some stuff we're going to talk about. Normally I'd play intro music, but we can't really do that on StreamYards, and I miss it. I miss all the white girl music and the black guy music that my audience loves so much. I am unable to play. All the 1995 to 2005 pop and rap that my audience loved. I always played the dip.
There is no other music, Beglov. What are you talking about?
As far as I'm concerned, if this made me money, I would legitimately license Freak Nasty's "The Dip" as my theme song. Because how much could it be? Like, really? What would it run me? A couple of bucks, probably. You know. Give Freak Nasty a 5 spot and a fucking 40. He's happy. I mean, what did he want? You know. So, Luke, did you see the teaser for the Masters of the Universe movie coming out?
Oh, there is. Let me look this up. So
they just put out a teaser. The full trailer is supposed to drop tomorrow, and there've been some on-set images. Most of it looks pretty good. They got Idris Elba as at Arms, which is. Of course, we got to do a race swap, I guess. The redhead guy has to be a black guy now. I like Idris Elba too, but it's like I'm so sick of race swaps. I'm so like not to be the fucking pronouns guy, but like, yeah, I'm fucking tired of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many Masters of the Universe characters that don't even look human that we could have him play without doing a race swap. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of this teaser trailer is just commercial. It's just like this, like, hey, remember the 80s? And then we show a little bit of clips from the movie. I don't know, man. See, I like He-Man. I don't think there's been genuinely bad He-Man shit, with the exception of that terrible, like, She-Ra cartoon where she looked like a 10-year-old boy. And it was like all bunny mouth cow art shit.
He-Man was literally kicked out of his own movie so he could focus on She-Ra and how horrible his death was to her.
Even the Netflix like He-Man that became the Tila show, like even it, there's a lot of good things about it. I wouldn't even call it good, but the things it does right, it does really right. Like I said, the cow art She-Ra is the only thing in this whole franchise I would call genuinely horrible. The 80s cartoon is great for what it is. I mean, it's a goofy, flamboyant 80s cartoon. You talk about not aging well. The 2002 cartoon is fucking fantastic. It rules. It just outright rules. I don't know. Like, He-Man doesn't feel like a dead property to me just because it's had such a strong comic book presence for the last 15 years. And I'm such a comic book geek that it doesn't feel like it's gone anywhere. You know what I mean? But I understand that the mainstream audience it has.
Yeah, it's not nearly as popular as things like Star Wars.
Well, I mean, at the rate Star Wars is going, maybe that's
fair point.
If He-Man starts going up and Star Wars keeps going down, they might meet pretty soon. Past like strangers in the night. But no, it's not a Transformers or a Ninja Turtles as far as staying power and relevancy. You know, even Transformers, I don't think is as popular as a lot of people imagine. Like, Transformers 1 bombed at the box office, and all the Transformers fans are like, "It's so good," but like the general public didn't care.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the theater saying, "Okay, when are we hearing the Transformer sound? When are we hearing the Transformer sound?" And it never shows up. It's like, oh,
yeah, I kind of was bored with it, but admittedly, I'm a pretty casual Transformers fan.
Yeah.
That said, though, like, I don't think the general population loves Transformers so much as they liked Michael Bay movies. And those Michael Bay movies happen to have the Transformers in them.
Yeah. Remind me again, was the character Jazz killed in the first movie?
I think so. I don't know. They all fucking looked alike.
Jazz was one of my favorite Jazz was one of my favorite characters as in the old cartoon show, and it just annoyed me that he was killed off.
You know, it still floors me that they managed to make at least a couple of pretty decent Transformers movies, but Hollywood has never managed to make a good G.I. Joe movie. Doesn't that feel like that should be easier? Like G.I. Joe is basically a anti-terrorist organization that's full of a bunch of weird, colorful McHale's Navy type characters. There's nothing that fantastical about it. There's nothing that affects and high concept heavy about G.I. Joe. And yet Hollywood just fucks itself in the ass every time it attempts to make a G.I. Joe movie. In baffling ways. It just honestly baffling ways. They get it wrong. I don't know. I'll go see this He-Man movie. I will probably have fun unless it absolutely shits the bed, and it will probably not do that well. That is my prediction.
Let's see.
But I don't know. I hope it does. I like He-Man. I'd love to see He-Man make a comeback. He-Man's cool as fuck. He-Man is the first thing I was into as a wee lad, Luke. Like 3, 4, 5. He-Man is the first thing I was all about. My dad tells me when I had a She-Ra figure, I called her She-Man. Which I guess some Hollywood executive heard that, and that's why he made that cartoon. He got that idea from me. But no, I loved He-Man. After I moved on to Turtles, it was like, yeah, He-Man's old hat. But I never stopped having a soft spot for it, you know?
I remember like back in the day, I had some babysitters who had the like 5 episodes of He-Man on VHS, and I just looped that over and over again. Like I think the first episode was the one where he had found the diamond ray of disappearance. You know that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
remember that.
Yeah, that was fun.
When I had the comic stand, we used to play during December. We'd play because we had a TV where we'd play like cartoons and movies and shit. We used to play the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special a lot during December. It's fucking bonkers. The 80s cartoon was pretty bonkers. I very vividly remember though being 19 and 20, and in 02 and then 03, they literally made like darker, more mature He-Man and then Turtles cartoons like right in a row. And I do remember watching a lot of those when I could catch them, but you know, I just missed them a lot. I finally did go back and watch both of those, and they're both great. But yeah, I could see this movie turning out really well. I don't think it's got such a low rent MCU vibe to the visuals that I don't know, man. I wouldn't even say they're bad. It just feels like stuff people are sick of.
Yeah, I just looked at the little clips. Like I've seen that before. It looks like a scene from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, why am I watching this? There's nothing. Movie feels like it would have done great in 2015. Yeah, there's no unique style. There's no. I mean, they don't even bother. I mean, CGI people don't even bother with the camera angles anymore. Hollywood doesn't even try to make a good movie. The only people who do good camera angles are horror films, and that's just okay. That's great, but do it in all the other movies. Yeah, the CGI doesn't look good either, and it's like I don't know, man. You could easily do a great. He-Man's just got a lot of cool shit about it. It's all high fantasy stuff with Magitech, super technology and shit. And that's basically because like Mattel was going to do Conan figures and they lost the license. So they quickly scrambled together some bullshit. And like the reason He-Man rides around on a tiger and Skeletor as a panther is just they just happen to have those fucking molds. So literally they just threw like hodgepodges of like leftover molds on top of some like leftover Conan shit and told some artists and writers like, do something with this. And they did. By the way, if you ever look at like when I say old He-Man comics, I mean like the little ones that came in the figures and shit. Mm-hmm. These are epic fantasy paintings on these covers. Like this is the most amazing, like high-end fantasy art you've seen in your fucking life. All to sell like just figures to 5-year-olds. Let's see if I can find some of those and share them on the screen.
If you do He-Man right, it is that perfect intersection between like a 40-year-old man and a 5-year-old could enjoy it if you do it right. Which is the exact same kind of intersection that superheroes occupy, that shit like Ghostbusters and Transformers and Turtles occupy. You know what I mean? I remember seeing the first Turtles movie with my dad when I'm 7, and my dad fucking loved that movie. Like you could tell, at least I could with my dad, when he's just taking me to see a kid's movie and he's bored or annoyed at it, or when he's genuinely enjoying the movie. And he genuinely loved that first Turtles movie. Now, the second one, not so much. The second one's pretty fucking goofy. And the third one's outright bad to the point where I didn't even like it. I was like 10. I was like, this sucks.
What was bad about the second one?
The second one's fine, but it's like they toned down the violence so much in the second one. If you've ever like you don't notice it when you're a kid. I mean, I think I noticed it a little bit, but like the opening scene in when they're fighting in, I think like the mall or something, the foot soldiers.
Oh yeah.
They're like doing all this slapstick bullshit with like hitting them with like sausage links and shit.
Yo-yos and all like, that. All that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have a sword. Like just stab this guy. Like Donatello, you have a giant fucking wooden staff. Like hit this guy in the head. Even as a kid, I'm kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't show that on kid. You can't make that a kids movie though. You have actual deaths.
Did you know Playmates did not make any toys for the first live action movie because the fucking Hong Kong guy at Playmates, like the president, was horrified by the evil violence in it, and he thought it was going to destroy the brand and do terribly. And that movie made all the money, and so then they do the sequel, and then Playmates is like, "We'll do toys for the sequel," but of course that's when execs come in and like, "Yeah, make it less cool." You know, I feel like from a moral standpoint, there's something worse about showing like the cartoony slapstick violence. Like, or showing like really like a lot of the MCU movies fall into this where it's like weightless, like violence with no consequence. Like, if you're going to show violence, you should show consequences to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People should be getting hurt or killed because that's what violence does. Like, that's its actual purpose.
Right.
You know, there's almost something worse to showing kids like the goofy slapstick, nobody gets hurt violence, I feel like. I mean, outside of like, you know, a Tom and Jerry cartoon or a Looney Tunes cartoon where even a kid recognizes like this is not at all meant to be anything close to the real world, you know?
Right.
Like this is surreal, dreamlike horseshit. And like even as a kid, you understand that when you're watching those kind of cartoons. But when you're watching like an action cartoon that's supposed to have stakes and, you know, villains and heroes and shit, you're supposed to imagine it as something approximating real life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to show weightless violence, you know, from a moralizing, think of the children standpoint, I feel like that's worse. I don't know. That's just me, I would say. But what do I know? I don't have any kids. I don't want to have any kids. So what do I know? Having kids sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
Well, that's kind of the trade-off. You have a horrible pain, but you have a prodigy.
It's true. Oh, do we really need another me, though? Haven't I done it?
Well, it's going to be half of you and the wife, so 50-50.
Well, she's probably just as fucked up. I mean, whoever I end up with, you know, I mean. Plus, you know, the kind of life I lead, it'd be really confusing for the kid that I'm calling her mommy, too. You know, so I just... What am I going to say to the kid? Do what your mother says. That's what I do. Luke, of course, finding wonderful Tila images.
Naturally. Is there any way you can expand this, or is that stuck here?
I don't know. I'll play around with it some. He says, hello, free folks. Check your PayPal. I guess I'll have to check my PayPal. Maybe I got a super chat. I should check super chats periodically. They don't pop up in the setup I have, but we will check them periodically. Let's see. Christopher sent a Christian sent something on PayPal and said, thanks for the entertainment. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much for that. $25 looks like. But yeah, I'll check the Streamlab as we go on. It just, like I said, it's not popping up right now, but I might be able to set up something where I have it on the side. Just got
new technology, a pain. How's anyone supposed to make a living these days?
I don't know, man. I'm amazed we made as much money as we did doing this show back about 10 years ago with as limited as monetization was.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really have super chats back then. Or if you did, it was only through YouTube and you had to be monetized. I legitimately loved Orca when I was a little kid. That was one of the few times they had the goofy little like sidekick character, like creature thing that I thought was cool. Like usually it's like Snarf from Thundercats where it's just annoying.
Yeah.
But Orca's genuinely kind of cool.
Yeah, the first time we see him, he's doing a magic trick and it all completely messes up. It says, "Oh, now for next trick. The only trick we want to see is you disappearing." Good classic humor.
Like I said, the O2 cartoon is really damn good. I think it's on Tubi. I watched it recently on streaming. I want to say it's on Tubi. It feels like the kind of thing that would be on Tubi. Tubi's great, by the way, if you don't have Tubi. It's free with ads. There's no excuse to not have Tubi. I've been watching Dan Versus on Tubi.
Oh, good show. Great stuff.
I'm about a couple episodes into it. What was that originally on? Was that
it was
that on that network that had the fucking My Little Pony on it? What was it? The Hub?
Is that what it was called?
There was a cartoon. I say a Cartoon Network, not the Cartoon Network, but a kids channel that had like My Little Pony on it back in the day called the Hub. And it just had like a bunch of other cartoons, but it wasn't Nickelodeon or Disney.
Oh yeah, it premiered on the Hub Network in 2011. That's what it was called.
I thought I had remembered seeing an episode of it one time on the Hub. I've still never seen like any of My Little Pony though. I've seen little like clips or like memes from it, and that's it.
Oh,
I remember when that shit was popping off. I came in the comic book store one day to get my books for the week, and they had a bunch of like My Little Pony figures, and they came with little DVDs of episodes, which is cool. That's a cool thing to do. But I'm in the comic book store and I'm looking at these and I'm like, are you really gonna sell a bunch of these? Like your guys coming in with their girlfriends or something? Like I just genuinely didn't. And the guy looked at me and laughed. And he goes, "Oh, you haven't, you don't know."
Oh my sweet summer child, the things we will show you, the sights we shall show you.
And it's like, I wanted to be fair to the bronies because I understand liking cartoons that aren't necessarily geared towards you. Like I liked Powerpuff Girls and Kim Possible a lot. And I was a teenager when they came out. Like I think I was like a freshman in high school when when I first saw Powerpuff Girls. I think I was out of high school or just about to graduate when I first saw Kim Possible, something like that. And those are realistically little girl shows. They're kind of geared towards boys some, but they're little kid shows, but they're both really well made and I enjoyed them. But I also didn't make it like my fucking personality, and I wasn't beating off to the Powerpuff Girls. As for Kim Possible, I'm going to plead the fifth, but I wasn't beating off to the Powerpuff Girls. Chad said the reason why the Hub was so good was it was created. Let me see. Wait, hang on. The reason the Hub was so good was created by one of the people who ran Fox Kids in the 90s. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. MLP was fine, but the bronies got obnoxious. And some of them got on the show ABD, but that was interesting in making fun stuff canon. I have a buddy that I don't want to say he's a brony, but he legitimately liked My Little Ponies when it was out. And like he's my age. He just was just, and I used to like bust his balls about it. He was like, it's just a fun cartoon. The most My Little Pony media I've ever consumed is there was a My Little Pony Transformers crossover comic I read. And that's it. There's a sequel to it, and I didn't even read the sequel, but I read the first one. And that's just because I'm a comic geek and I'm a sucker for crossovers. And I'm like, fine, I'll bite. Chat says open a daycare. That's how you make money. And you know, the best part is you don't even have to watch kids. At the Beglov Leering Center. You don't even have to have kids there. There's a lot of great impossible art out there. My gosh.
And now with AI modification, it's even better than ever.
Kim Possible was a great cartoon. It legitimately was. You know what? I've told this story countless times, but I started watching it just because it has the one of the guys that was one of the main art directors on it was the guy that worked on the Clerks cartoon. So it's basically the exact same art style.
Which cartoon was that?
The Clerks cartoon, the Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah,
cartoon.
Silver.
Yeah, the Clerks cartoon had thicker lines for whatever reason, but the basic art style is the exact same. Because I remember flipping through the channels and I thought it would. For a second, I'm like, is this a Clerks cartoon? Why is that on fucking Disney?
Steven Silver, the legend himself.
Oh, chat's talking about. Somebody read the second My Little Pony Transformers comic. The sequel is not as good as the first, and it was setting up a third crossover that never got made due to IDW canceling the G4 MLP comic. Huh? Well, how about that? And IDW doesn't have the Transformers rights anymore either. So they're doing great stuff with Turtles, though, man. Turtles is on fire over at IDW. Really has been for like 10 years. Easily. Oh, good God. I think 15. I think it was 2011 they got the Turtles license. I never read much of the IDW Transformers. I basically just hopped in for like crossovers and shit. I'm a very casual Transformers guy at best. Like, Transformers was a little bit before my time to begin with. Like, I was basically like 2 when, you know, it pretty much had wrapped up. But I do remember watching reruns a lot on USA. And it was fine. I watched a lot of G.I. Joe on USA too. And they were both great, but I just was never into them enough to like get toys and shit like that. But I can see why people were. I mean, I can see why it stuck with people. And I did read a decent amount of the original Marvel run, and it's pretty good for what it was. Let's see. I want to know something funny. The Disney cartoon American Dragon was created by a guy who did a weird play called Puna the Uck Dog, and I think there's videos of the play on YouTube. I don't think I've seen the. I know of American Dragon, but I don't think I ever watched an episode of it. I'm old enough, Luke. People will be talking about, oh, that was my childhood, and it's like shit that went on when I was in my 30s. Like, oh my gosh, that was totally my childhood, and I feel like, wasn't that yesterday? Wasn't that like 2 weeks ago? What are we talking about here? Like. Oh my gosh, that was my childhood. And it's like, all right, I was. Luke, how old are you again? I forget. You're about my age, aren't you?
Just turned 41.
Okay, yeah, you're like a year younger than me, so 2 years younger than me, I guess, because I'm 43 in a couple months. But I don't know. I find there's a huge difference between like. As an 83 baby, I find I have more in common with a 73 baby than a 93 baby. As far as like cultural, like just marks and shit. Like part of that might be because we had like a lot. It feels like we had a lot more reruns when we were a kid.
Oh yeah.
Like just because something was before your time, you were probably still aware of it. Like hell, when I was 10 years old, I went through a little phase where like my favorite show was Get Smart, and that was out in the 60s.
Also, there wasn't an overproduction of content because that is true. There was a lot more reruns just because there was just fewer shows that people would watch over and over again.
Yeah, and I mean now, good God, I can't even. You know, now you're just watching what brain rot TikTok reels or shit if you're a kid. Like, I hate to sound like a fucking old boomer, but like, don't give your kids a tablet for the love of God. Luke, see if you can find a promo for a show called 911. We don't even need the sound, but there's an episode where like there's like a meteor shower or something, and there's like a pretty famous promo for it.
911 was it?
Yeah, the show is just called 911. You could also maybe find the B NATO fucking promo. And
the 911 season 9 trailer B NATO.
It's the most generic horseshit in the world. It looks awful. Everything about it looks awful. The acting looks fucking terrible. The effects look fucking terrible. It's just so generic in both concept and even name. And it looks like the worst thing you've ever fucking seen. Oh, here we go. The average human being can. Okay, so it's just a B NATO, right? This is network television. Your aunt watches this. I want to make sure you all understand this. All right. This isn't a Sci-Fi Channel original that we all laugh at. This is network television. All right. See if you can find the meteor shower one too.
Meteor shower.
The famously bad fucking one. I bring this up to mention this. You know, we talked about his transfer. This is the one. The sound makes it worse. Okay, when we get to pause. Go back to Jennifer Love Hewitt there. I want you to take this in, Luke. She's standing in front of an obvious green screen, right? She is gently folding her arms like your grandma when you told her you dropped out of college. You know what I mean? Like just mildly concerned as she's standing on the beach in business casual, mildly concerned at the fucking sky falling.
Oh, OMG. Oh my God.
And as the other guys take cover, like, where? What do you want me to do? I don't have a bomb shelter, nigga.
This looks like honestly, I would mistake this for an AI image.
It does. It looks that fucking bad. Okay, so now I don't know if the show is this bad. It could just be bad marketing. House was a pretty good show, and it had terrible marketing early on.
Is this AI? Is this real?
This is like the number one show in the fucking world right now, Luke. I need you to understand this. This show gets like 10 million fucking viewers.
Is the content good or no or what?
Okay, so I'll admit this. I've never watched it. And I will say I grew to really like the show House, and I never watched it for the first 3 seasons because all the commercials were just like just pure medical procedural thing. Like, who gives a fuck when House's strength is its characters?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that maybe all these characters are actually tremendously well written and acted. They certainly don't look like it in the commercial, but maybe they are. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But everything I've ever seen about this looks like the most generic horse shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. And again, I need you to understand something, Luke. It has like 5 to 10 million viewers an episode. 10
views an episode, you say? Let me see if I will look up a scene and see if it's just as generic, but I won't share it just for the sake of copyright.
More people have watched this show. Think of any show in the last 20 years you would consider genuinely good that you would recommend to somebody. You know, your True Detectives, your Breaking Bads, your Better Call Saul, you know, even for nerd shit like your Invincible or whatever. You know what I mean? Before it shit the bed, Stranger Things or Game of Thrones before their last seasons when they fucked itself in the ass. You know what I mean? Like these shows that you're like, oh, you got to watch this, man. It's peak top shelf fucking television, right? I need you to understand that all of those, whatever you're imagining right now, is absolutely bodied in the ratings by 911. You need to understand that, okay?
I'm looking at a scene from the first episode of season 9, and there's a protest group talking about eating the rich, tax the 1% and all that jazz. Billionaires, yay, hey, ho, ho, billionaires have got to go. Like, oh yeah, who's okay here?
Breaking Bad gets fucked in the ass, ratings wise, by 911. Like it's top rated fucking episode. Like 911 is just fucking it in the ass. Okay.
It better be good. I'll find the first episode.
Like
it better
The
be good.
Boys or Succession. Yes, exactly. All of them. All of them are wrecked by this show in ratings. You need to understand that. Anything you've considered good television in the last 20 years, 911 bends it the fuck over when it comes to ratings. You have to understand that, okay? We can sit here and argue about the finer points of this or that show or whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? Your boomer and older Gen X fucking aunt is busy watching 911. She doesn't give a fuck. And you could be like, how come there's no cultural impact? That's because like take Stranger Things, for example. Even the bad last season that absolutely fucked the entire franchise to the point where I was once a big fan and I don't ever want to think about Stranger Things again. I could spend 2 hours analyzing how it went wrong. I could probably watch all 9 seasons of 911 and not have a fucking thing to talk about. What would there be to talk about? You know what I mean? Like nothing. It's nothing. Luke, you need to understand something about television.
What do I need to know about television that I don't already know?
We are now about to enter our 3rd spin-off show of The Big Bang Theory. I need you to understand that.
Wait, what spin-off? What are we talking about?
The 3rd spin-off of The Big Bang Theory is in the pike.
Uh-huh.
We had Young Sheldon, of course, because of course we did. Obviously, we needed such a masterpiece. It went on for like 8 years. I've never seen a fucking second of it. Then we have a show about his brother getting married. Because sure, why wouldn't we? And now apparently they're working on a show about the guy that owned the comic book store in Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
The worst shit in the world has just the biggest ratings you can imagine.
So I'm not sure how this. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to try to share an audio clip.
I doubt it'll work. We can never get sound, it seems. Yeah, we're not hearing nothing. Not hearing nothing, Luke. That's right, chat. Georgia Mandy.
You're not even hearing me right now?
Nope, we weren't hearing nothing. Well, we're hearing you right now, but
oh well, I'll work around it somehow.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Okay, so have you ever seen a show, Luke, called Blue Bloods?
Blue Bloods? No. What is that?
It's starring, oh God, what is that guy's name? Not Tom Hanks. Tom Selleck. Sorry, fucking Magnum PI Tom Selleck, who I believe is now about 105. But he's the patriarch of this family of like, I think it's Boston cops. Now, Luke, I want you to imagine the most boomer pro cop thing you can imagine. Like Law and Order had, it was really kind of propaganda, but it had real stories to it. It had a lot of drama. You know, sometimes the good guys cross the line. It had a lot of depth to it. Blue Bloods doesn't have any of that. Blue Bloods is designed for your evangelical aunt to fall asleep to. I need you to understand that, right?
Blue Bloods. Let me look at this thing. With Tom Selleck, where are you?
I guarantee you it has better ratings than your favorite show. Whatever your favorite show is.
Well, but
whatever, in its heyday.
So in other words, it's anything with, so anyone who has taste, everyone else is watching it.
Yes. We should honestly thank God that as many cool things get made as they do. Like at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. You need to be like, we're so spoiled. Like, I'm spoiled by the fact that the MCU has gotten bad. And I never take a step back and think, holy crap, I had good Avengers movies in my lifetime. And 5 years before that would have happened, I would have thought that was the fevered dream of a madman. So, like, maybe have a little gratitude, okay? It really could just be nothing but 911 and Blue Bloods, okay?
You have a reputation.
Yeah, for getting things done.
Oh, here we go.
What do you think, Reagan?
think we'd take this ride together.
What is that? What are we listening to there?
That was a clip from the new trailer of Blue Bloods, Donnie Wahlberg Blue Bloods spinoff.
Awesome, cool.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's Boston Blue. That's the Blue Bloods spinoff.
It's a spinoff. Awesome, cool. That's great. I love it.
Let's see, but let me see if we can play that little sound clip I mentioned before. Sorry, folks, a boomer technology going on here. Oh, here we go.
Certificate is suitable for framing, plus it comes with a $50 gift card.
Oh, so it's a bribe.
How much was that latte, Buck?
I used petty cash.
Oh, so you bribed her with other people's money. Okay.
You're making up fake awards so she can take you as her +1.
I don't need to make up fake awards. And it sounds as if you don't think she deserves it. Well, I disagree. Congratulations, firefighter. And by the way, if you were to choose me, just know that I wouldn't be going as your boss. I'd be going as your best friend.
Oh, come on. We're going to play that card.
Nearly 2 decades.
It sounds terrible.
And the visuals look kind of clean, but I'm not sure if it's worth the effort because it's just playful banter the entire time. I actually skipped around and it was actually playing a Mad World, like a segment of Mad World as the background music of this.
There's a clip from Blue Bloods I see passed around as shorts where like Tom Selleck is taking what looks like his grandson out to dinner with a couple of other old people, and they're giving him the most boomerific life advice. Like how well, of course you're going to move out of the house when you're 18 and you won't be able to afford to eat out for a while. And it's like, I mean, what do you mean he's moving out? Like, it's not 1985 anymore, buddy. Not a lot of people moving out right when they turn 18. Moving out to where? Like BlackRock and Indians bought up everything. All right. What do you want them to do, Boomer? Like, but no, TV is like people say TV is dying. I guess it is, but it's like it'll only die when the boomers that watch it, I guess, die. Because my God, these shows still. I'm told The Simpsons still gets 3 or 4 million viewers an episode, and I don't know how the fuck that happens.
What do they talk about these? What do The Simpsons talk about these days?
I don't know what's going on in The Simpsons. I haven't watched them. I've watched a couple of semi-modern Halloween episodes in the last few years, which are okay. The last full regular episode of Simpsons I can remember watching, and this was a long time ago at this point. I mean, it was like 2009 or 10. But I watched an episode where, and I hadn't watched it in a while at that point, but I was like, maybe it got good again. So I watch an episode, and it's like, Homer gets a job as Krusty's assistant, and he's going to travel around with Krusty, and he's going to take Bart with him. And I'm thinking, oh my God, a Krusty episode with Homer, and then Bart acting as Homer's sidekick. That's like everything that was great about The Simpsons. So it's like the recipe for the best episode fucking ever. And then we cut to Lisa, which, boo, even in classic modern golden or classic golden age Simpsons, Lisa sucked. So we cut to Lisa, who's going to band camp, and everyone at band camp is voiced by the cast of Glee. Like, this is the gayest, and that's what we're going to focus on instead of the cool Homer and Krusty and Bart antics. And I'm like, this blows. You know what? I still like American Dad. I still like Family Guy. They're still funny. South Park has shit the bed ever since Trump really came. I mean, in his first term. And Simpsons is just a fucking shambling zombie corpse of itself.
Oh, I'm watching the latest episode, and it's a reference to the movie Severance, to the TV series Severance. Ever heard of it?
Yes, I have. It looks good.
It could be good, but it's bogged down by its propaganda to be any good, and that's what sucks about it.
I'm sure it gets less. I'm sure it gets less viewers than 911.
Yeah. The whole premise is that you have this little chip in your brain that turns on when you go to work. So you effectively can go in and go out, miss your whole day of work. And the whole thing is just talking about how oppressed you are at the job, because the person in the work, he's always on the work clock. And so he never takes a break. And so, and you become two different people as a result. And so there's dynamic of two different personalities in the same person. And they don't do anything fun with it.
Chat says rent is $1,200 a month in most places. Yeah, exactly. The days, except for the rich, the days when your kid's kicked out at 18 is gone. Like, I'm sorry to tell you. Like, nobody can fucking afford that anymore. We're going to be living fucking 3 generations in a house at this rate if we don't turn shit around. But yeah, I like Smiling Friends. That's really good. That's a new thing that's out. That's decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't caught Rick and Morty in a while, but I think I'm a season or 2 behind. But even though it peaked at season 2, it's still funny. I know the fan base got really cringe and all, but it's like it still makes me laugh. Family Guy, by the way, still legitimately makes me laugh. And their Christmas episode this past year, was amazing. They did a big spoof on Hallmark movies. That was so good. They had like Joe and Cleveland playing characters in the Hallmark movie. And they're like, hi, we're the token cripple and black guy that never appear in important scenes so that we can be cut out for the more red state markets. I don't think that, because I have heard that Hallmark Channel does that shit. And I don't watch enough of it to know. But that shit was funny.
Let's see if I can find that sucker.
Yeah, Smiling Friends is great. Well, yeah, you got to understand. Like every once in a while, that 911 meteor shower clip gets passed around Twitter. Everyone like, what is this? That's the other thing. It's like this weird parallel universe. Like these shows get like 20 million viewers, and I'm like, I've never seen a moment of it or heard anyone mention it. Like no one at work is like, dude, did you see 911 last night? I'm like, I sure didn't.
Fancy car of yours is having a little trouble. Welcome to Townsville. It's not the big city, but for me, it's home. You think that's funny? You think that's funny, mister? I'll have you know that a little snow got in the wrist of my sweater. Now my wrist is wet. Whoop!
Family Guy's still funny. It's weird. Like Family Guy has evolved. American Dad did the same thing where it's evolved. It's no longer the show it started out as at all, but it's still funny. And Family Guy is especially funny to me because there's a lot of stuff Seth MacFarlane throws in there where he's like purposely trying to piss people off. And like, once you know that, then it becomes like you're in on it. Like it's watching an Andy Kaufman act at that point. Like he just throws like weird, uncomfortable incest jokes in there all the time now. And once you know that, it's like he just really wishes that Family Guy would end so he could make more Orville and Ted. Then you realize, like, oh, this is now funny again. You watched the Orville yet, Luke? Can't remember if you'd seen that or not.
Oh wait, the whole thing. Well, everything up until that's been released. Yes, I've seen virtually everything. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it's basically done. I mean, they kind of were up in the air about maybe having more, but all the actors have pretty much moved on, so it's done. Although half of them are working on Ted with Seth right now, so. But Orville was so good. That's another thing where it started out mostly as a parody, but it really grew into just being better than Star Trek has been for about damn near 20 years.
Although I probably pushed things too far when I did the incest episode.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Chris.
Wrong! It's wrong!
Yeah, Disney is the big reason the Orville kind of got shut down. Like when Disney bought Fox, we almost didn't get that last season on Hulu. Because Disney and Seth have a lot of bad blood. So when Disney bought Fox, they were basically ready to just I mean, trust me, if it wasn't making them as much money as it is, they would have canceled Family Guy just out of bad blood. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas the Orville was just something that, yeah, it was making money, but it wasn't making gobs of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You seen the clips from this fucking Star Trek Starfleet Academy train wreck?
I have not. Well, how horrible is it?
God, it looks so fucking bad. We got this fucking dyke girl boss captain. She's on the captain's chair in this ship, and she's like sitting sideways across it with her legs across the armrest, like reading a fucking book and shit. And I'm like, can we have a little fucking professionalism? Like, it's one thing to have jokes like this in like a cartoon like Lower Decks, where it's, first of all, it's all the low-level officers who you expect to be goofballs and asswipes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's also a joke. It's also kind of a parody and shit. But like, I don't want to see a captain fucking acting that way. Like,
am I seeing slapstick here? Am I seeing clips with slapstick gags in them?
There is a line where one of these people in Starfleet Academy, some fat, disgusting, androgynous dyke looking bitch, is like, I swallowed my comm badge. And I'm like, the Borg should have assimilated us. Like, fuck this. We deserved it. Also, this is supposed to be 900 years removed from the latest Star Trek show. So, like, I guess Voyager and Lower Decks time, it's supposed to be 900 years in the future from that. And I'm like, it doesn't look like they advanced at all. It looks like they regressed. Chat says Starfleet Academy really wants to be the Orville. See, that's the problem. The Orville had a lot of that goofy shit, but the Orville also had a certain professionalism to it. Again, it started out a bit more on the comedy, but it did really evolve. But the Orville, when it did that sort of stuff, it wasn't like, it didn't come across as incompetence or lack of professionalism. It just came across like the kind of working man attitude that Starfleet is a military. Let's be fucking real. I know some commie woke faggots want to act like it's not. Just because most of the time we see it in peacetime when they can just study nebulas and shit doesn't mean it's not a military. But you know, in the military, in any military, there's a little bit of goofy working man kind of fucking shit going on. But there's also, at the end of the day, a professionalism. When shit gets real, everybody's locked in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the Orville had that. The Orville had a certain working man kind of thing to it, but it also had that professionalism about it. Like, I genuinely believe that these were officers who have earned their fucking position.
Right, like with the whole scene where or Isaac's entire race takes over and starts rebelling. They actually are prepared soldiers to fight them off to the very end. It's futile, but at least they're professional soldiers.
Yeah, they know what there's some goofy shit where it's like Lamar's like, you know, I think it's the first episode. Hey, last captain didn't let us have sodas on the bridge. He's like, well, as long as you don't spill it, I guess it's fine. And there's like a scene where they're hailing some alien, and he kind of just like takes a sip of his soda and shit out of a straw. And it's like, it's a little bit funny because that's just like sort of working man shit and all, but it's like, we also know that Lamar is a completely capable fucking engineer and pilot. You know what I mean? Like, you saw a little bit of like smart ass fucking bullshit with like Tom Paris on Voyager. You know what I mean? And part of that's to be believed because he's literally somebody they put on a fucking prison work release program because he's such a great pilot. But you also saw a certain fucking professionalism at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't see that with any clip from this fucking show. And it all looks like shit. And they all look like ugly, androgynous fucking dykes.
I just saw a scene where the biggest thing is horribly endless, like millennial social awkwardness. Like, it's not even like for alien miscommunication or cross-culture stuff. It's just that she's hopelessly awkward. Like, oh, okay.
And like, you can have some of that, but it's like, you got to balance that. You got to balance that shit. Or else it just, like, everybody on the ship can't be that archetype. Or else it looked like, how is this running? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I fucking hate it, man. I honest to God, I look at it and I'm like, what? And the other thing that really gets me, everybody's got to be fucking ugly. They got to be some hideous androgynous fucking dyke or some soft, gooey fucking twink. And like, people made fun of like Jerry Ryan in a cat suit and shit, but it's like, what was wrong with that? Jerry Ryan, but 7 of 9 is a tremendously well written and well acted fucking character, by the way. Watching this poor girl that had been assimilated when she was 5 and is now like 20 years old and forced to rediscover, it's somewhere in her 20s, I imagine, and forced to rediscover her fucking humanity is a genuinely compelling concept, and it's genuinely well acted and well written. And yeah, she's hot and she's walking around in heels. So fucking what? I like looking at her ass and titties. I'm sorry. All right. I wish that was the worst sin I ever had to confess, Luke. There's a scene in there too where like Kim is hitting on her and she literally says something along the lines of like, "Oh, you wish to copulate. Is this for procreation or for pleasure or whatever? Like, is this for recreation or procreation?" And he's just stunned and doesn't know how to respond.
And Isaac is the same way. Like, I would love to have sexual relations with you. Thank you, but I'm just working myself right now.
Oh, would you like to have sexual relations? Like, but no, that kind of stuff's great. That kind of stuff is so great, But it's like, oh well, why is Jerry Ryan walking around in a skin tight suit? Because she was fucking hot. That's why. How about that?
Here I am.
Maybe that doesn't need any more explanation than that. Maybe I like looking at hot chicks, and maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't want everything to be a fat androgynous dyke. Well, why don't you just look at porn if you just want to get off? Well, here's a thought. Maybe we shouldn't confine everything that is sexy to just porn. Maybe that's a thought. Like maybe there should just be a general sexiness allowed in culture. Maybe there could be some playful eroticism in regular entertainment. Like, what are you really saying if you're pushing all of sexuality into porn?
And I think you could use my help.
So you think I might screw up?
No, sir, I didn't say that, sir.
Well, no, but you implied that you don't think I have the balls to do this job.
Well, I am your doctor, sir, and if your balls aren't to par, I'll know.
Yeah, you will never get a line like that in the new Star Trek. I guarantee it.
Yeah, when the Orville was doing more humor and stuff, the Orville came across to me as just a little bit less autistic and uptight Star Trek. But that's a difference between just everybody being incompetent and stupid and unprofessional. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there are characters that like that, but there's just like only one character in particular that's like that, though. The rest of the cast is actually interesting.
I don't know though. I'm tired of the sex appeal being dragged out of everything. Like I'm weird because I want to look at sexy ladies, and it's like, no, I'm a healthy fucking man, and I want to look at sex. Like it's actually okay. That's actually okay. I remember the Mario show from back when I was a little kid. The one with the live action guys or two wrestlers that looked like Mario and Luigi, and they introduced the cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And they would always have celebrity guests on, right?
Oh,
the Halloween episode, they had fucking Elvira on, right? So Elvira is just on this kid's show with her titties half hanging out, right? And that was just fine. We were just all okay with that. It was Reagan's America. Fuck yeah. But nowadays, you can't do that. Oh, why are you putting gooner stuff in a kid's show? But even though we're more sanitized, we're not wholesome. Because we'll also put like messages about being non-binary in a show for 5-year-olds. So it's truly become the worst of both worlds. We have sexualities, but not sex.
There she is.
Zoomers are virgins till they're 30, but they have a whole bunch of sexuality. Look at that. That's in a kid's show. Her tits are just half hanging out. That's on at 3 in the afternoon in 1988, Luke. 1989. That is on at 3 in the afternoon for little kids to watch after school.
Remember, kids, do the Mario.
And by the way, right after that comes Ninja Turtles, and April's got her fucking jumpsuit on with her tits half hanging out. And that was fine. That was better than what we have now. It was absolutely better. It was much more wholesome and life-affirming than a stupid CGI cow in a kid's cartoon talking about, I have they, them pronouns.
Ugh.
Have you not, like, I can't be the only one that's noticed that. Think of how many movies just don't have, like, romance subplots, and just R-rated movies are afraid to have sex scenes now. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why?
I mean,
we'll have two gay characters, but God forbid a chick show her titties.
I mean, people speculate about what this is. I mean, there's a certain sexuality that's allowed and not allowed, and it might. There, I think. The obvious conspiratorial one is that promotes the patriarchy. Like, actual sexuality promotes the patriarchy, and we can't have that.
It is. I've harped on this for years, and it's because it's genuinely confusing. Because we live in a culture right now that has managed to become very, very sanitized, but not at all wholesome. And that is a really weird thing. It's truly the worst of both worlds. It's like our culture looked at like the religious right of the 80s, the old church ladies that listened to Jerry Falwell, and said, what if we could do that while also denying God?
Look at Mario. He knows what the show's all about. Like, Elvira kisses him towards him at the very end. He knows what the show's about. His eyes almost bulge out of his skull.
Yeah, and even at the age of 5, I understood. Like, I didn't have any firsthand experience with it, but I understood that dudes chase girls and girls chase boys and boys chase girls. Like, I understood that. I understood that. Like, yeah, Mario wants to do stuff with her. I didn't know exactly what that stuff was. Well, I had a general vague idea of it. He wants to do stuff I'd seen animals do on the Discovery Channel, kind of like, and it's fine. Like, I don't. Chat says, Elvira titties, I'll catch us tomorrow, assuming you don't pull it. I pulled the last one I did because I was only on for like 20 minutes and it just kind of didn't go anywhere.
Oh, here we go. Here's a perfect clip for the... Let's see if I can find it here.
So, you going to take back what you said?
Brian, she's stunning.
Okay, you met her. You can scram now.
I shall do no such thing. Now, why in the world would you be embarrassed about dating her?
Oh my God, Brian! I was watching something on TV about this guy named Hitler. Somebody should stop him.
Is she retarded?
We can't say retarded anymore.
In the original, it's like, her parents, brother and sister. Oh, I get it. She's a moron. But a moron with large breasts they can use for your Matchbox cars or whatever adults do with women with large breasts.
Well, we also do that, Stewie. Look, if I can't run a Matchbox car over your titties, I mean, what are we even doing? Like, are we even living? I don't know. It's a thing I've harped on for years, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but it is very bizarre where we're at right now. And it's like I see this with like comic Discord. Like I saw on like Twitter there was a scene from a Batman comic from a couple years ago, and it was like Batman and Catwoman were an item, and they're screwing, you know what I mean? And there's a scene where they're kind of in bed, sort of after the deed, and he's talking about like some mission or whatever they were working together that went south, and he goes, I apologize for putting you in that position, and she goes, oh, you don't ever have to apologize for positions you put me in. And it's like, that's great writing. It's fun, flirty, sexy stuff, you know what I mean? And immediately below it, I see, and it's not even you would expect this from like church lady evangelical types, but immediately below it, I get a comment from some lefty with Palestinian flags in their bio and shit saying, "Oh, softcore porn in my Batman comic," and it's like, fuck off. Just fuck right off. All right. Stop trying to suck the humanity out of every bit of art. Because sex is a part of humanity. All right. I want to see couples in art in stories being fun and flirty and clearly horned up for each other. That's life affirming to see that.
At the new place.
Time. Oh, you lasted far longer this time. I meant in training, of course. He's very proficient when we have...
Corey!
Yeah, I love that shit. I absolutely love that shit. And it's like, everyone does, unless you're like unless you're some ideologue that's let their mind be fucking poisoned to where you just can't have any joy in life. And that exists on the right and the left. It's more common on the left, and it's a bit more baffling how that fucking happened in this particular case. But it's there.
They got a little power, and all of a sudden they had to be more puritanical than the right, which is weird.
It's a very bizarre thing. And again, it's even more bizarre when you consider that they have, that they collect sexualities and pronouns like they're fucking Pokemon. But heaven forbid anybody actually have sex. And that's before you even get it. And then it's not even talk about their weird obsession with age differences. Oh my God. You were 30 and she was 27. You're a pedophile. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, what is wrong with you people? Oh, well, I think we've went on long enough for the night. Had a decent show. So we're going to be making this a regular thing on Wednesday. Luke and I are going to be here. We're going to try and wrangle up more guests. I'm going to try and get a good panel thing going like I used to. I don't know how successful I'll be at that, but we'll see. I'll try and get Forney on here. Forney was on fucking InfoWars too, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Luke. Forney was on. He wasn't on with Alex, but he was on with Harrison Smith, I think is his name. But yeah, I want to try and get a regular thing going. I'm off on Wednesdays, basically every Wednesday. I'm able to do this. It's probably a better time slot than Saturday was. And if you enjoy the content and you'd like it to continue, we have ways to support the show. There's streamlabs.com/thebeglov. You can send a super chat. I don't have it set up where it will pop up, but I do check it periodically through the show. So it will get read on the show. I will even check right now real quick, just in case we had any. And there's also paypal.me/thebeglov. You can send a donation that way. And there is an Amazon wishlist down below where you can buy me the dumb shit that I like, which is mostly comics. And those are all ways you can support this program if you are so inclined. So I might stream again at some point during the week, but I'm going to try not to. I want to try and keep it all for the week. That way we have a good amount of topics. Don't blow my wad before Wednesdays. And that's about it for tonight, folks. We'll be here next Wednesday, God willing, at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Now, I admire your boldness, but what will the team think?
What?
Yeah, keep art sexy, man. That is the vitality of a culture. Eroticism is a lifeblood of culture. I'm sorry to tell you, it is. Yeah. A neutered culture is no culture at all. All right, folks, that's about it for tonight. Thank you all for listening. Beglov out.